Oh my goodness, you guys. I finally have it. I know you don't know what it is yet, but I have it. This. Yeah, this. This, my friends, is something that I have been waiting to find. I have been desperately digging around to find for over a decade. And I have it. Now, for those of you who don't know, this video is an introduction to a blog entry that I will be writing on my Cinema Warehouse blog, which is why you saw that title a moment ago. And I felt it was necessary to do this as a video introduction, mainly to get past all the exposition up front. You know, I didn't want to have this big block of text explaining the story behind how I found this. So that's what this is for. That way, the actual blog entry with all of the text and, essay sort of stuff I normally write for my reviews will be the only thing that's in the actual page itself. That way, we do away with possibly twice as much text as there would be. Also, I would really love to get my initial reactions of this video, because I want to tell you guys what this is about, how I found it, and my memories of it before I actually see it. And then I'll try to get some footage of me actually watching it and reacting to it, however much I can get, and then I will tell you my thoughts after the fact of what happens afterwards. But anyway, let's open this thing up. Ha 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 ha! Yes. This, my friends, is a film from my childhood. It's a movie that I rented from the Allegan Public Library up in Michigan, Southwest Michigan to be exact. One and only Allegan, if you know their website. And I rented this movie about 3 or 4 times before, my mom thought it was a little dubious, and it's sort of like all of the negative hype around Harry Potter from all of the conservative Christian people. And I am a Christian, but I never had a problem with this, and I certainly don't have a problem with Harry Potter. Harry Potter is awesome. So first, I want to explain to you guys how I found this thing, because this sucker is hard to find. I'm not kidding. This is like the rarest, most obscure piece of crap you will ever try to look for, especially if you don't know the name. If you do not know the name, there is no way you're going to find this unless you're really lucky like I was. So, when I was 7 years old, I first saw this in one library, and I rented it 3 or 4 times. After that, I didn't rent it again because I was told not to. My mom didn't really know anything about it, and she still doesn't, but she's less conservative about things now. So that's no big deal. But I understand why she was back then, because of all of the negative hype around Harry Potter and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And other things. So I didn't rent it again. When we eventually moved from Allegan, I started getting interested in trying to find it again. So I attempted to look it up, figuring that if I looked up VHS covers or movies about telekinesis, that I would come across it eventually. I did not. So I got discouraged, didn't look it up again until about 4 years ago, in 2009 or 10. And that time, I came across a VHS cover archive website, which no longer exists. But at the time, I actually randomly, on the 3rd page of all these VHS covers that had been uploaded to the site, I found it. I found the exact cover. In fact, I don't remember it being sky blue on this cover. There's actually an alternate one that I did see that was white. This one is sky blue with a gradient. The version that I remember buying was this exact same picture, but the whole cover border was black. And that's the one that I found. I found the version with the black border. So then I saved the picture on my hard drive, hoping that later I would go back and try to buy it. But at the time, I wasn't getting, an inflow of an allowance because of going to college, so I had no way of purchasing it at the time, and I was waiting until the time that I could. By the time I did want to buy it, I couldn't find the image. And when I tried to look up the site that I got the image from, it's nowhere to be seen at all. It's probably because it's under some unusual name in the URL that has nothing to do with VHS tapes. It doesn't tell you what it's for. It's probably still there somewhere, but it's just not there now. So, out of desperation, I did about a week ago, I did everything that I could. I looked on Google, and I looked on Bing, and I looked on IMDb for anything related to family films, VHS only movies, because this ain't on no DVD. This is it. There's like 14 copies floating around there on Amazon, and that's it. So I looked on Google, I looked on Bing, I looked on any website that could tell me similar movies within this type of genre that were similar to other stuff. I almost thought that Zapped was the movie I was thinking of. I almost thought this was Zapped from like 1980. And it looked very similar. I almost could have fooled myself into thinking that was it. But because that was a, kind of a PG-13, almost raunchy sort of National Lampoon kind of a movie, I knew that couldn't be it, because this was a family movie. So after looking on all those search engines, all those movie websites, allmovie.com itself, nada. Nothing. Zip. Zilch. So the only thing I could possibly do now was to look on Amazon and do a manual search. So I set the criteria for movies, VHS tapes, families and children films, and I looked through every single page. Every last one. All the way down to like page 74 with as many listings as possible on every page in gallery form. That way there's just all these individual boxes with the titles and images, and that's it. There's no other information in those bar things. It's just a whole wall of stuff. Didn't find it. So you know what I did? I went to eBay. Because if you can't find nothing on Amazon, eBay is the best possible bet you have. Because they got everything on eBay. So, I did the same thing. Set the criteria for VHS, children's and family films. Didn't fill in any other criteria. Didn't check any other boxes. Because if I checked any other boxes, I was sure to never find it. And I prepared myself to grind this out until I got to the very last page. There was exactly 264 pages of 192 listings on each. That's a lot. And I had to look through every single one of them. Luckily, on page 19, I think it was, this was sitting on the bottom right-hand corner. I found it. After trudging along for over a decade, I found it. And thankfully, it's in relatively good condition inside this thick plastic housing. So I'm happy about that. The only problem is, I don't know how you're supposed to get this thing out of here. Got these bent-in edges. That's actually kind of weird. How the hell do you get this out of here? Because I guess I haven't seen these too much in my day. All right. Now we got some interesting stuff on the box here. Let me read this to you. Family Home Entertainment presents. Well, that just says it all right there. Learning magic can be a tricky business. Winner of 9 international film awards, including Most Popular Film at the Chicago International Children's Film Festival. This is an award winner, people, and they want you to know it. So, I don't know if that means that this is actually going to be as good as I remember it, or good at all, but if it's a winner of something, then it's got to amount to something, right? Because most films do not advertise that they're award winners. Usually when they do, it means they're complete crap and they want to convince you that it's good. So I have no idea what to expect with this. But the title is The Young Magician. Kind of reminds me of the Young Sherlock Holmes title. Okay. Rock Dimmers presents Tales from All number 4? Tales for All number 4. Does that mean this is part of a series of movies? With Rusty Jedwab. That is such a weird name. I kept seeing that. Rusty Jedwab. Oh, I wonder where he is now. Peter Edward Garson, Alexander Natasja. Oh, Alexander Nataza Marazek. And then it just says Margaret. And it stops. There's Rusty Jedwab, comma, Peter Edward Garson, comma, Alexander Nataza Marazek, comma, Margaret. There's no last name. And then it just says a film written and directed by Waldemar Ziki. Now, those names tell you that this is foreign, and you'd be right. I don't remember this being subtitled. In fact, I don't remember anybody speaking with a weird accent either. I remember this being in complete understandable English. So, clearly, this was produced as a joint production between the United States and somewhere. I believe... Oh, yeah. Well, at least it says here it's Quebec, Canada. But I've heard that it could also be part French and even Polish. Because my grandmother just told me this could be a Polish film. So that's quite interesting. So in typical Red Letter Media style, let's read the back of the box. Rated G for great family entertainment. Yeah. The Young Magician is a delightful fantasy celebration of the potential in us all. From the producers of Bach and Broccoli, it's another international award-winning full-length feature for the whole family that was voted the most popular film at the Chicago Children's Film Festival. And what a story! Peter's got magical power but no practical control. And this spells trouble for his family and his friends and the whole city. He ends up on the run until another boy genius teaches him the real, not-so-magical power of practice and discipline, which is just what they need to save the entire city from sure destruction. A delightful magical fantasy for all. I'm sort of getting feature films for families flashbacks. Because if you don't know who they are, look them up. f.h.e. Look them up and find out what they've been up to. Because this is reminding me of that. So clearly this is a film designed to have lessons in it. Either that or they're emphasizing the lessons on the back. I don't remember this movie beating you over the head with, family appropriate morals and such. So, I really don't know what I'm supposed to expect in this, but I saw this, I liked it, so let's see if I actually like it now.